and then I sent you the wrong link.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have your camera on? Why'd you just turn it off?
No, Scum, I don't want to blast my face out like that.
I mean, we already seen your face, my guy. It's too late.
That's whatever, though.
Damn, man, I'm hella disappointed. Can't even show your face, dog. That's crazy.
I mean, what difference is it? Do what? Can you hear me? I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear you. Yeah, I don't hear what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, man. No, I can't hear you. Oh, leave and come back? Okay.
No sound? No sound?
Still the same.
Oh, can
No,
you
it's
hear me
still.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Now? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Sorry, I don't know what was happening. All right, good. Now we can. Now everyone can hear me. Yeah. So my name's Graham. Obviously, you heard Chris in the Discord saying Graham. I didn't know that's me, but I'm glad everyone can hear it now. And I'm from Florida. We're from neighboring states, I guess. You know.
Yeah, you said, is it, if I remember correctly, Fort Myers, right?
Yeah. You can dox me like that. No, I'm just kidding. I tell everybody that, but yeah, I'm from Fort Myers. Where are you from?
I would say South Georgia.
South Georgia, near Atlanta or Atlanta? Is that South Georgia?
No, that's North Georgia.
Okay, so you're on the other side of the state.
Yeah. I'm closer to you than it would be Atlanta.
Oh, so
Can you,
you're even closer to me than Atlanta.
yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
But yeah, so let's start with gun control, I guess, and then we can work to immigration and we can work to any other topics we want to talk about. So what is your stance on gun control? I know you were talking about buybacks, but I'll just let you start with your stance. But damn, man, too bad you won't show your face. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like that would be a way to completely get, not because you can't 100% get rid of like the problem, but I feel like that would be, as far as like the illegal uh, unregistered guns, I feel like that would be a good way to get them off the streets. And
What do you mean illegal unregistered guns? In Florida, it's legal to have your gun not registered. Did you know that? There's no gun registry in Florida.
yeah, I think there should be.
Why?
Why do you think there shouldn't be? Because I mean, I
I
think it
mean,
would be
because they can
nice
already
to.
trace back where you bought the gun. It still has a serial number on it.
Well, yeah, but what about the ones that don't have serial numbers that get scratched off?
Well, what about exactly if the serial number is scratched up, you can't pull it up in a gun registry anyway if the serial number is scratched off. That's why that's a crime. It's a crime
Exactly.
to
That's why.
scratch off the gun, the serial number because you can't trace the gun.
Yeah. So that's why you would do like the whole collect them. I know that's a what you guys are just all against is they're going to take my guns, but I feel like that would be a good way to then mitigate all the shit that's happening as far as school shootings and stuff like that because
So
it would
how does the
limit
serial
that.
number mitigate stopping from school shootings? If
Well,
we
I'm
want
not
to talk
saying
about school shootings, I have some great stuff we can talk about there. But I don't think registering your gun stops school shootings. Most guns that are used in school shootings are stolen from bad parents. I mean, I don't know if this is 100% a fact, but
that is
from
true.
the research I've done, did
I
you
was just
say
saying that was
something?
true. Yeah, I was just saying that
Yeah.
that was true.
So how does a gun registry prevent school shootings?
I'm not saying that specifically having a gun registry would prevent that. I'm saying as far as collecting the guns and then redistributing, like that other guy was saying, to the ones that actually are quote unquote good gun owners.
I mean, explain that for everyone in depth so we can understand it. And that guy was a huge hypocrite. I love Don's, but he literally said he wants all of us to have our guns taken away for a couple days, and then the government to figure out who to distribute them back to. Meanwhile, he's allowed to keep his. He wanted. So that you see how that's a huge
Well,
hypocrite. Sorry, Don's, if you're watching this, but man, that's just the truth.
but then that plays into the fact of like the caliber of the gun and stuff like that. Like grenades are different than a shotgun.
Yeah, I understand that, but you realize some NFA weapons are still like firearms, and they're not just explosives.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Like a automatic assault rifle is different than a shotgun or a pistol.
I mean, if you want to do voluntary buybacks, okay, I can understand that's fine, but
Yeah.
not mandatory buybacks. And first off, like, doesn't your don't you people like always scream, like people that are more to the left? I mean, I know you said you're a centralist, but I don't know how true that is. I guess we'll see during this debate. But um, don't you people say that, oh, due process, yada yada, but at the same time, with the statements you're making right now, that would violate multiple constitutional rights, including search and seizure for no reason, improper search, all those constitutional
Well,
rights that violates right there, and
well,
also
I'm
your
glad you.
Second Amendment right, most importantly.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because didn't Trump say that he wants to get rid of the Constitution?
I mean, no, he never said that. Do you have an article
Yes.
or a
Yes.
source for that?
Yeah. Well, his Truth Social post.
Well, show the Truth Social post on screen. You have your computer in front of you. Show us.
All right, hold on just a second.
Because I've never seen that personally and I've never heard that. Maybe he said he would like to amend a few constitutional rights. I could see that, but I've heard him say multiple times out of his mouth that he loves the Constitution. We have 226 people in here. Can you guys slam that like button? Slam that like button for us. Slam that like button. We're debating gun rights, right? Gun control and gun rights and whatnot right now. But yeah, Trump never said anything about, you know, getting rid of the Constitution. That's ridiculous. That's just some bullshit Democrat claim. Well, we'll see when he keeps searching for 5 or 10 minutes and doesn't find anything. But you can't just believe what the mainstream media tells you. You actually got to do research on stuff that they say. Like you can't just say, "Oh, CNN, MSNBC, some other." I don't care if it's Fox News. If Fox News told you that, that's bullshit. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit on every single news network these days. You got to look for actual evidence and significant proof. But Trump never said anything about wanting to get rid of the Constitution. And just because if you want to do gun buybacks, cool, but no mandatory gun buyback should be like that. Should not be needed. You should not need to do mandatory gun buybacks. You don't want the government coming in your house and searching for guns unlawfully. Would you let police come in your house whenever they want without a warrant and search through everything? Because I wouldn't.
Well, I don't own guns, so they
Have
wouldn't
you
be
ever
coming in
shot a
my
gun
house.
before?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, you live in the South, so I would think that you've shot a gun before, but and also another problem is if their guns aren't even registered, like you're claiming all these illegal unregistered guns, that means they would have to search everyone's house, gun owner or not. You see how that kind of doesn't help or that doesn't happen? It doesn't
Well, I
matter if you're
think.
a gun owner. If they're searching
Well,
for illegal unregistered firearms, that means they would search your house. So would you let the police search your house without a constitutional warrant? without proper search and seizure? Or would you let them violate the Constitution and search your house as much as they want and look for illegal guns?
I mean, if it prevented kids from dying, then yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
I mean, it doesn't prevent kids from dying, but continue. But we can
I'm
talk
saying in
about how
school
we can.
shootings. Well, you know what I mean by that, in school shootings and stuff like that.
Yeah, once again, taking guns off the street don't prevent you know, finding illegal guns do not prevent school shootings. Like we've already been over this. Most guns that are in school shootings are parents' legal guns. These aren't guns that are bought for criminals. They're taken from their parents because their parents are dumbasses. They don't lock their guns up around their kids and know their kids are freaking insane. I mean, we've been over this. Most of the guns that are being used are legal firearms. So, taking away their illegal, unregistered firearms are not going to uh, lower any school shootings. But if you want to talk about how we should lower school shootings, then let's talk about how, in Texas, where they have teachers with firearms, you've never once heard of a school in Texas or anywhere around the country. Some schools actually have teachers with guns. You've never heard of a school shooting happening ever there, have you? That's for a reason. We need more armed security. We need special licenses for teachers to have firearms, that want to have firearms. I'm not saying all teachers should have guns, but if a teacher wants a gun and they're properly trained and they know what they do, then yeah, they should absolutely have a gun to protect their students. But I'm still waiting for that claim that Trump said, oh, the Constitution. I can tell from all your typing, you're probably struggling to find it because Trump never once said he wants to get rid of the Constitution. That's bullshit.
I'm trying to find the actual post on Truth Social.
Because he didn't make a post, dude. I'm telling you, I don't know where you got that information from, but if it really was true, you would have screenshotted it and shared it all across social media, including in my Discord, which he's never
Well,
said that. So
well,
what
I don't
about
use it.
Britain's
Yeah.
mass school stabbings? Well, you want me to tell you a plan for mass school stabbings? I mean, to be honest with you, I love that argument, but I don't think Britain has that many school stabbings. And for school stabbings, yeah, they should have weapons. I mean, maybe in Britain the teachers shouldn't have guns, but they could have tasers. They could have more weapons to stop students from stabbing each other. But I've never really, I'm not from Britain. I'm not from the UK, so I can't speak on that situation. But that is a great super chat. I appreciate that, Nate. But like, no, I don't know about that, my guy. I'm not from Britain. But yeah, they should have weapons. And for school stabbings, dude, it's simple. We've seen. I mean, I'm from Florida, dude. We have X-rays. Kids used to stab each other. There's been some stabbings in Florida. There's been some incidents in high schools. You know why there aren't so many incidents anymore? Because there's freaking X-rays now. There's X-rays, so people can't bring knives into school. I mean, that's a simple fix right there for you. Put a little bit more security. It's the same thing. For guns, put more security. For knives, put more security. But taking people's knives or guns away or banning knives, they've already banned knives in England. So, they banned knives in England. They're trying to, and there's still stabbings and there's still school stabbings. And they've banned guns in some liberal states, and there's still shootings in these liberal states. But once again, dude, you might as well just, concede and say Trump never said that, because you're not going to find a tweet, you're not going to find a Truth Social of Trump saying, "Oh, I want to get rid of the Constitution." He's never said that, my guy. That's just a retarded CNN talking point. How did Australia solve school shootings? I mean, they barely had any school shootings. They still have stabbings, though. They had a couple school shootings. Australia has school shootings, and guns are basically impossible to get. I mean, you can still get them, but it's very, very difficult. And they had a school shooting last year. Jeremy, if you want to debate me, drop me a super chat, or you can wait in line. There's a long line of people that wanted to debate. And this guy, he dropped some super chats and skipped the line. It was a grown adult who stabbed the 14 kids, though. Where? In England? Nate, or what situation are we talking about? I'm not too familiar with all the criminality going on in England. But if it was a grown adult who stabbed the 14 kids, then there should be weapons in school. Like I said, there should be weapons in England in their schools. They should have tasers. They should have, powerful weaponry to stop the violence. It's been 5 minutes. Did you find Trump's Truth Social post about the Constitution? I want to get rid of the Constitution. He never
No,
ever said that. You cannot believe everything you see on mainstream media without having significant evidence and significant proof. Trump never said he wanted to get rid of the Constitution. Never. He's never violated the Constitution. In fact, if you want to argue that, we can argue about that as well. I'm open to discuss, how he quote unquote didn't follow due process or whatever your claim you want to make.
do you think that what we are currently doing is working to prevent school shootings?
No, that's why I just told you we should let teachers have guns. We should have more armed police officers in schools. We should have more people with guns on school property. Are you familiar with the Parkland shooting in Florida in like 2018, I believe it was, 2017?
But I will. I believe so, but I do agree with you on that. I think that would be some. I'm not saying that we should get rid of all guns, but I do believe that we should have that.
You believe teachers should have guns, or you believe we should
Yeah,
have just more security?
I believe that teachers should have guns.
Awesome, man. Then we agree. Then you're not as a crazy pro gun control as I thought. I mean, it just makes sense, man. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos, but there's videos all online of teachers in Texas having firearms protecting their schools. I mean, never once have you heard of one of these. Have you heard, oh, a student grabbed his gun and shot someone? That's always someone's counter debate. Oh, a kid will grab your gun and shoot someone. If first off, your gun should be holstered. It should be, have a very safe holster where you can't just yank it out and shoot someone, because if you have the right holster, you're not going to be able to be disarmed that easily. Second
Right.
off, if you're physically, small and you can't defend yourself in physical combat from like a 17-year-old, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe, there should be more security. Maybe you shouldn't have a firearm as a teacher. Like I said, there should be some kind of, I would put a license for it, but if there was no license, if it was just a regular concealed carry permit, I mean, I would be fine with it as well.
Yeah, I agree with that because how big of a problem it is that there should be protections like that in schools.
Dude, the Parkland school shooter, the only reason he got away with doing that is because the sheriff, or not the sheriff, the cop that was there was a fucking coward, dude. He was about to retire in 1 week, and he heard a school shooting happening, and he ran the other way because he didn't want to die when he was about to retire. Like, how much of a bitch do you gotta be? If you hear someone shooting in a school, you should instantly go over there, especially if you're a cop, and end him. You shouldn't be
Yeah,
scared as a law enforcement officer that has trained with firearms. You should not be scared of a 15 or 16-year-old who doesn't have the same training as you with firearms. I mean, it's that simple. If I was on that circumstance, or if I was ever passing by a school that was getting shot up or anything like that, if I have to face criminal charges to defend people, I'm going to do it, because I'm not just going to let the place get shot up. I'm not just going to let innocent people die. I'll use my Second Amendment right to protect the school. And if I get criminal charges or I have to go to court later on, or if I get arrested, then so be it. I don't want to see innocent people die because a bitch ass cop is too scared to defend the freaking school. And I'm not saying all cops are bitches, but this is a great example. Law enforcement does a lot of good in America, but they also do a lot of heinous shit sometimes here and there. But we need cops, obviously. I'm not against cops, but it's fucked up that a cop was scared to protect the school, to protect the freaking Parkland High School, I believe it was.
yeah,
Like, how the fuck are you just gonna run away? You rather retire in a week than die a hero? I'd rather die a hero than be known as that cop that was a bitch ass motherfucker that just ran away because someone was shooting up the school.
yeah. I completely agree with that.
Like, that is fucked up.
But I found it, by the way.
Okay,
It,
show us on screen, and can you mind showing us?
yeah, I got you.
Okay, let's read this. So, with the revelations of the massive, widespread fraud and deception, and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you know the presidential election results in 2020 out and declare the rightful winner?
Well, let's hold it like this so you can read the whole thing. I'm tripping.
Okay, now I have to hold my phone sideways.
Oh
I
shit,
mean,
my bad.
can you just read it to me?
Oh,
Something about the Constitution. I've not found in the Constitution. Those found in the Constitution. Can you read it to us?
yeah. It says so with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception, and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC, and the Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitudes allow for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want or would not condone the false and fraudulent elections.
So how is that him saying that he wants to get rid of the Constitution? That's not at all what that said.
A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules and regulations and articles, even those found in the Constitution.
Can you read the whole thing from start to finish again? Because you're reading a
Yeah,
very small segment and you're trying to make it out of context.
no, I'm not. Because so, with the revelation of the massive and widespread fraud and deception, and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential election of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner? What he's saying that the 2020 election was stolen? Or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules and regulations and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want and would not condone false, fraudulent elections.
Show it to me again. Show it on screen, because I think you're trying to read it out of context. Because the first time I listened to it, I read it myself. I did not hear that or see that.
So, well, there you go. I'm going to hold it like this
Okay.
so you can see the full thing. I
Yeah,
know you got the
I'm
whole.
gonna read it. Let me think about this. Let me process this. So, with the revelations of the massive widespread fraud and the working closely with big tech companies, the DNC, the Democrat Party, working to overthrow the presidential election results, a massive fraud of this type of magnitude allows for the determination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Well, that's kind of out of context a little bit, but I kind of see what he's saying. But he's not saying what your first claim was. He didn't say that he's going to get rid of the entire Constitution. He didn't say he's going to try to get rid of the Constitution. What he's saying is that this should be investigated and looked into, even if, looking into this or investigating in this goes against the Constitution. It's a little
But
bit, it's a little bit blurry of what he's saying, but I can understand how you're saying that. But at the same time, how the hell did you take? How did that take you 10 minutes to find when it was his first True Social? But that does not,
but
he's not saying at all that he wants to get rid of constitutions. What he's saying is that this should be investigated into and looked into, and no matter if it, violates some constitutional amendments and rights, which I don't believe it does anyway.
I mean, and it was investigated, and they found no evidence of it being fraudulent.
I mean, they did investigate it and they did find some, concerning things, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter at this point because that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
If anyone wants to debate me, you can either drop a super chat to skip the line, drop like a $20 super chat, or you can wait in the Discord. There's like, 5 or 10 people. There's a lot of messages in there of people saying, I'm next, debate me, blah, 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 blah. Just join the Discord, guys. Link in the bio. But still, can you give me any examples of how Trump has violated the Constitution? I would love to debate about that. And we can continue on this gun control topic as well. But if you know any ways that you think Trump violated the Constitution, I can give you my opinion. I'm not saying he's a perfect president. He's definitely fucked up here and there and whatnot. But
Uh, Deporting U.S. citizens,
what
and
U.S.
also
citizen has he deported? Can you name one?
didn't that chick say one last night? I don't remember the name though.
That was under Barack Obama.
Oh,
That was
okay.
15 years ago under Barack Obama.
Which also I will say that the deportations under both Barack Obama and Joe Biden were wrong, just like they are under Trump.
So what are you, pro open border? Why are
No,
deportations wrong?
like I told you, I said I'm not open borders because that's a ridiculous idea. I think that the process should be fixed into where it doesn't have to take so long to become a citizen.
I mean, I agree with you there, but I still think we should deport illegal immigrants. Like, if you don't believe in deportations, then I don't know what the hell you're thinking, really.
I mean, as far as mass deportations, no, because then you don't give people due process like they haven't been.
I mean, do you know about the Expedited Removal Act? Do you know about the Alien Enemies Act? These are federal laws that are, have been added parts of the added laws and that have correlation with things in the Constitution and whatnot. I mean, these are laws that presidents passed. Are we going to follow the federal law about how it says the Expedited Removal Act says if illegal immigrants are found a couple hundred miles away from the border, they can be removed and deported back to their country without going to an immigration hearing? I mean, do you want to follow federal laws or not? If you don't want to follow them, you can change them legally. You think he might start a war to prolong his term? No, he's ended 6 or 7 conflicts or wars, whatever you want to call them. But like I was saying, do you want to follow federal law? Do you want to follow Bill Clinton's Expedited Removal Act? He passed this law through Congress, I believe, in the 90s. Do you want to follow the Aliens Enemies Act, a law that's like 100 something years old? I mean, are we going to follow the federal laws, or are we just going to give every single person a court hearing because the Democrats think we need to? Because that's not what the federal law says.
I think that they should have a vetting process to get rid of the criminals. It's
I mean,
pretty.
they do have a vetting process. Where is your paperwork? Where is your registration? Where is your anything? Show us any kind of identification. If you don't have it, you get deported immediately
Why?
because you entered the country illegally and you broke a federal law.
I mean, yes, you're not wrong there.
So why shouldn't they be removed is the real question. If we're following all the federal laws, I mean, you have your computer right in front of you. Look up the Expedited Removal Act. I mean, that's a great place to start. If you want to talk about how he's not given due process, that is a blatant lie. I mean, look up Expedited Removal Act. And that's not even the main law he's using. The main law he's using is the Alien Enemies Act. And it talks about anyone that's invading our country can be removed without having an immigration hearing. And all they have to do is invade the country. It doesn't have to be a war. It doesn't have to be, anything like that. All it has to be is an invasion. We can also, if you want to say that's not an invasion, we can also look at the definition of invasion because it fits the uh, the definition of invasion.
So, do you consider it to be an invasion?
Yes, by the Webster's dictionary definition, it's an invasion. Yes, by the actual English definition of any dictionary, it fits the definition of an invasion. Due process is not the same thing for citizens as it is for illegals or even the green card holders. That's absolutely right. And that's just based on the federal laws. The former New York Congress member was pardoned for a felony tax invasion by who, brother? Hunter Biden was pardoned for felony tax invasion.
Oh, I'm just reading.
Yeah, read that and also read, the Alien Enemies Act. Read the definition of invasion. Are you guys all of you guys are illegal? No, I don't think I'm illegal. I was born in the United States.
But what is your main like point to like deporting all these people?
My main point is we shouldn't be, even if we can't deport every single illegal immigrant, which I don't believe we'd be able to. But even if we just stop encouraging them from coming in, we close the borders like Trump has closed the borders. There's basically virtually, not completely, of course some people will get through here and there, but there's virtually been zero border crossings for the last 2 or 3 months. People are no
Mm-hmm.
longer being encouraged to come into the country illegally. Like, sure, Trump has never been known for his great mass deportation efforts. That's not what Trump was known for originally. Despite liberals and Democrats' opinions, Trump was never known for that. He was mostly known for closing the border and stopping new illegal immigrants from coming into the country. Both Biden and Obama deported more people than Trump in his first term.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
is
what I
Trump?
said earlier. That was like I was
Yeah.
saying earlier. I think that's also wrong. No, I'm not particularly like on the left, so I think that's
No, I
also wrong.
don't. I don't think that was. I mean, I think what Joe Biden did was wrong because I'll explain that in a second. But what Barack Obama did, I mean, if you can also look up this, did Barack Obama give 3 million people he deported due process? He used the same expedited removal act that I mentioned in the first place to deport 3 million people. 80% of them got no due process, aka no court hearings, no immigration hearings. They just got deported right out of the country. 80% of them.
Yeah, and that's wrong.
He used the federal law. It's not illegal, it's not unconstitutional, and it's not morally wrong, in my personal opinion. Expedited removal still gives you due process. Bingo. I agree with that, actually, but I'm just using the word due process the way the Democrats and the liberals use it, which, if you ask a Democrat or a liberal what they think a due process is, they'll tell you that it means they have a right to go to trial, they have a right to an immigration hearing, which I don't believe is due process. What I believe is due process is following the federal laws. Trump expedited removal is the same thing as the Alien Enemies Act. They're extremely similar. The only difference is that the Alien Enemies Act has a much more broad case of who you can deport.
But do you really think it is a predatory intrusion?
Yes, I do, because these people are taking up our welfare and they're taking up our welfare programs. A lot of
How are
these
they
people
taking up
are
welfare?
murderers, huh?
How are they taking up welfare programs when they can't qualify for it?
I mean, how can they not qualify for it? Explain that.
Because they don't have a social security card.
Okay, don't you also need it? Wouldn't you also say that you need a social security card for a driver's license?
No, you don't need a social security for your driver's license.
What are you talking about? You ever got a
I don't
driver's
believe so.
license before?
Or
Yeah,
it's
you
not
do. Okay, the
specifically like
answer
a.
is yes. The
It's
answer,
not
you
a
can look it up
specific
on your
the.
computer. You need
No,
a
I'm
social
saying
security's number to get a driver's license.
it's not specifically the driver's license. It's the ID or whatever, like a valid ID. Like the
So you
other,
need.
it's not like a driver's license, but it's just like an ID card.
No, I know, but you need your social security number to get a driver's license. I mean, you can look this up if you want. Would you like to look it up and I'll wait? At least in Florida. You need 7 points of verification. That's right. You need 7 points of verification to get your driver's license. Some states just need proof of residency. I mean, it may differ state to state, but I'm pretty sure you just need, Social Security, at least in Florida. I'm pretty sure. To get any official ID, you have to have a Social Security card. I believe that's 100% right. And this is going to work into my next point.
This is no, not every state requires a social security number for a driver's license.
Not every state, but the
Yeah.
majority of them do.
I'm gonna look at the specific list of it.
If you guys have any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about, drop some super chats. We can talk about it.
Well, yeah, I guess only 13 states don't require you to have a social security number.
No, you can also tell us what you do need for a driver's license. You need some kind of proof. You need a social security for vehicle registration.
You can also have a foreign birth certificate, a
But
foreign
illegal
passport.
immigrants don't bring any paperwork. They're not going through the
How can
process
you
of coming into the country legally.
how can you say what somebody brings?
Because why would you bring a bunch of paperwork to identify who you are when you're jumping over the border? Don't A lot of these illegal immigrants were caught throwing away their passports, throwing away all their documentation. So when they jump over the border, you have no idea who they are.
Well, where's your proof for that?
I mean, there's videos of it all online.
How can you say somebody coming to America to try to have a better life is a predatory intrusion?
Because, like I said, First off, is that the definition of invasion? Go ahead and read the definition of invasion. Then
Oh no,
I'll tell
that's
me.
under the Alien and Enemy Act. It says it's an event of an invasion or a predatory intrusion perpetrated or threatened by any foreign.
Or keyword or predatory incursion, invasion or predatory incursion. Correct.
Okay, yeah, or invasion,
Okay, so maybe not all of them
but
are a predatory incursion. Maybe they're
or
just
but look,
invading.
but this saying that it is perpetrated or threatened by any foreign nation or government. So that's meaning that a foreign nation would have to be purposely in like sending people to invade your country.
Read it all together once again. Don't just clip it out of context. Thank
No,
you,
I'm not.
Nate.
It's saying it's a wartime measure that authorized the president during a declared war or an event of an invasion or predatory incursion perpetrated or threatened by any foreign nation or government.
Or invasion. So, it is being perpetrated by some governments. Second off, it says invasion or. You realize or separates the two
Yeah,
contexts of the law, right?
but the latter part is the most important part, where it says perpetrated or threatened by any foreign nation or government. It's not
Yeah,
like they're
but
purposely
that's
sending the
that's not
people.
for all of them. That is just for the third part of the Alien Enemies Act. You realize, like I said, the word or separates the context of this reason, and this reason. It doesn't all blend together. The first one is war, the second one is invasion, the third one is predatory incursion. Are we agreeing on this so far?
Yeah.
Okay, then you understand by the third definition, it says predatory incursion by basically another country's means, is what you're saying. So either they're fitting the definition of invasion, they're fitting the definition of predatory incursion, etc., etc., etc. They're not all fitting in under all things at once. Like these are three separate things.
But I still don't understand why are you saying it's an invasion?
Because it fits the definition of invasion. Google the word invasion and read out the definition for us. And you realize this Alien Enemies Act went to the Supreme Court, right? I mean, they turned down. At first, they went to a court. They said no, this is unconstitutional. Then it went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has made the final decision that the deportations under the Alien Enemies Act are indeed constitutional. They are indeed lawful and legal. So our own court systems, our own legal scholars agree that this is a legal deportation system.
So you think that they are hostile in force and entering the territory to take control, cause harm, or
That's
overwhelm?
not what read the whole definition.
An invasion is the act of a foreign or hostile force entering a territory either physically or figuratively to take control, cause harm, or overwhelm. So you think that
Foreign
those
or hostile, cause harm or overwhelm. They are overwhelming, and some of them are causing harm.
how are they overwhelming?
You ever seen some of the border towns? They're going to shit. They're overwhelming the citizens. They're the minority in their own city. So how is that not overwhelming when the
But that's
legal
not a
citizens are the
representation of the
minority?
entire country, though.
Huh?
I said that's not a representation of the entire
It
country,
doesn't
though.
say the entire country in the definition
No,
of
no, 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 no.
invasion.
Not, I'm not saying just that specifically, but your point about them overwhelming the border towns, that's not specific to, or that's not and like
They're
talking about the whole
overwhelming our
country.
welfare system and the entire country overall. If you guys have any questions or comments, though, drop some super chats.
Well, how are they overwhelming the welfare system?
I mean, like I said, we can't even take care of our homeless veterans. We can't even take care of our people. So
Well,
how
then
are
why
you
did
going to
Trump
say
cut?
that?
Why did they cut funding to the VA then?
Because there was a lot of useless jobs and people were complaining already how shitty the VA was. But that has nothing to do with helping the homeless people that can't get off the streets and making housing for them. Why did Trump make 10,000? Why did Trump? Why is Trump turning an LA facility into housing for 10,000 homeless veterans?
I didn't hear
Which,
about that, but
well, look, of course you didn't hear about that. You only hear about bullshit that's not true. If you want to look into it, you want to do your research on that, we can talk
what have I
about
said
that as
that's not
well.
true? What
Huh?
have I said that's not true?
You said that Trump said he's going to get rid of the Constitution. He never said that.
I showed you.
But he did not say he's going to get rid of the Constitution. The full context of that tweet was saying that this needs to be looked into, even if it goes against any constitutional amendments. I mean, taking one small sentence out of context is extremely easy to do. I mean, you literally purposely read a specific part of it over and over and over again instead of taking into account what the full context of the tweet was.
But no,
It's
I
kind
read
of
the
just
entire
bad
thing, and I
faith
even
in
showed you the
general.
whole thing. I even
I mean,
showed you the whole thing.
then explain that to me what that means to you, because I already explained it to you what it means to me. What does that tweet mean to you?
It means that he was saying that it allows. Well, he says it allows for the removal of the Constitution, or however he said it. I mean, I can read it again if you want
Or
me to.
however he said it. So you
Yeah,
basically
he
don't know what
says.
he's saying, you don't know what he means, and you're just
No,
going to say he's going to remove the Constitution. But once again, he did not say, I'm removing the Constitution, I'm trying to take away the Constitution. What the full context of the article was saying was that he needs to look in depth into what happened in 2022, even if it goes against the Constitution, etc., etc., etc. They're getting deported. Why wouldn't you want criminal illegal aliens to get deported? That is the real question. But
but
smash that like button.
majority of them that are getting deported aren't criminals. Huh?
But they committed a crime by overstaying their visa or jumping over the border. That's a crime. That's a federal crime. So what do you mean
Yeah,
they're
but
not
it's not a
criminals?
violent or bad crime though. So what?
Okay, it doesn't have to be a violent crime. It's a bad crime. You know, is ripping people off and scamming people a bad crime? Or should
Yes,
they
yes,
not go
it
to
is.
jail because it's not a violent crime? Like, what
No,
is your defense here?
no, I'm saying a violent or bad crime, and yes, ripping people
Okay,
off
it's a
like that
bad
is bad.
crime. They're jumping over the border illegally. It's bad by definition. They're breaking the law. Breaking the law is immoral. If you're religious of um any kind of religion, this goes against, if you're any kind of religion, like if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, really doesn't matter. This is immoral, especially to religious ethics. And not even religious ethics. If you just have any kind of ethical standard, breaking the law of a country doesn't matter if you disagree with the laws or not. It's not ethical. That means it's morally wrong and it's bad. Immigrating because you're poor is not a valid reason. You're not in fear for your life. Why are they finding Louis Vuitton bags and fancy luxury items on them? I don't know. Maybe because they're using the welfare system to pay all their bills, and
They
people
can't
steal Social
qualify for
Security.
it though.
Huh?
How can they use it if they can't qualify for it?
They can qualify it. How did they get a
How so?
CDL license and drive a commercial vehicle when you have to have, proof of citizenship, social security number, something? You can't be an illegal immigrant and work a job and drive a truck. You don't fit any of the things. But guess what? There was still an illegal truck driver who killed 3 people in Florida. So how are you going to act like these people aren't, doing that?
Did he have a visa though?
No, he had no visa. He was completely illegal. No documents, no nothing. He was driving a truck. He killed 3 people. If you want to look
Okay.
into what you need to get a CDL license and be a truck driver, we can do that. But the fact is that somehow, even though he's not supposed to be doing it, even though you need a social security or some kind of proof of citizenship or residency, he still did it. So to sit here and say that, they're not getting welfare or they're not getting certain programs is ridiculous.
So what about the person that hires the illegal people?
They should be fined or they should have criminal consequences.
Okay, I agree with you on that because that's the
Did they
actual
not
root of the
stay in
problem.
hotels for free? Did they not get free food and free Medicare? Do you remember that at all whatsoever? Like, how can you say they're not taking up our money in our welfare system? Don't you remember just last year when New York City was housing illegal immigrants that were coming into the country? Do you not remember that whatsoever?
No, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Okay, so why are you sitting here lying then and saying they don't take up our taxpayer money and they don't take up welfare? Like, why are we going to sit here and lie and say, oh, they're not taking up our taxpayer money? They aren't on welfare. They're not on any social programs. Like, why are we going to sit here and make that shit up and lie? It's
Because you have to have
impossible
certain
to
things to
say they're not
qualify
using
for
our
it.
welfare money when we've seen them living in New York in 4 and 5 star hotels for free with no citizenship, no paperwork, no nothing.
Why are you so against helping people?
I'm not against helping people. I want to help more of our natural born American citizens. If you want to break federal law, I don't want to help you. It's that simple. Like, I wouldn't want to help a murderer or a rapist, But apparently, you want to help any kind of criminal. You want to help criminals. I don't want to help criminals. I want to help U.S. citizens. I want to help veterans get off the streets. I want to do more housing like Trump has already done for the veterans. I want to do more and more for people. I want to do stuff for our citizens. Living in the United States is not a God-given right. If you want to live in a better country, there's plenty of other countries that will accept you. I mean, it's that simple. I'm not against helping people. We should be helping more of our own. I'm 100% for helping people. But if you blatantly break federal law, I do not believe in helping you. It's just that simple. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just looking at the New York thing that you were talking about.
I mean, you remember it. I remember it. But at the same time, you want to sit here and tell me, oh, no, they're not using any of our welfare programs. First, it was, oh, they're not using any of
Those are
our
people.
welfare
Okay, so
programs.
it was for people that were refugees and asylum seekers. Those are not undocumented.
Refugees is just a word for illegal immigrants. A refugee, if you're they say refugees and asylum seekers for a reason, because asylum seekers go through the legal processes. Refugees are just illegal immigrants. That's just a nice way of putting it. Illegal immigrants. We're not going to sit here and act like it was for law-abiding asylum seekers. That's bullshit.
But refugee status is a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing. They weren't legal. We're not going to sit here and play this. Oh, they're legal. No, they're not
No,
legal.
I never said they were legal. I never said they were legal. I just said
Okay, it's
they
not a
fall up
legal
under a certain
status.
refugee status.
That's what asylum seeker is. Asylum seeker and an illegal refugee are the same difference. If they're not the same difference, then you sit here and explain it then.
Wait, explain the difference?
Yeah, if there's a legal difference between a legal refugee and a legal asylum seeker, then go ahead, explain it to us.
Aren't they the same thing?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Refugees are just illegals. Asylum seekers are
But
people that went through the legal
you fall up
process.
under a certain status when you have refugee status. You're not just coming over here and not having
You
any
fit
sort of.
under the asylum. You fit under the asylum. There's no legal statute. There's no legal way of being a legal refugee. I mean, if you're a refugee, dude, they don't put them under the same category. You just said they were the same, but the article you're reading us from does not tell you that they are the same. It separates them for a reason, because the refugees that they're talking about are illegal immigrants. And you also just agreed with me. You said, yeah, I'm not saying they're legal, because you know they're illegal. But if you guys have any comments, questions, drop some super chats, or if I see any good comments, I'll read them out loud. But I'm going to read every single super chat out loud. Hit that like button, subscribe. How about you show the article you're reading? Great point. I agree with that comment. Mexican refugees, yeah, right? The U.S. was
Even
legally giving them money. Why not change the law? I mean, yeah, the law has been changed at a federal level. I don't know if New York is still giving them money.
and even then, it says. I'll show you. It says right.
What does it say?
Do you want me to read it, or do you want me to show it?
I mean, both.
Okay. And this is off of the USCIS.gov.
Okay, read it.
Ooh, the phone's in front of my face. It's like you must receive a referral to the U.S. Refugee Admission Program for consideration as a refugee. And if you, yeah, okay. And then
Okay,
it
I
says,
concede my point then. Maybe there are a refugee process, but we're definitely not going to sit here and lie through our teeth and say the people in the New York hotels that were getting 4 and 5-star hotels were legal, because a lot of them, the majority of them, were illegal.
yeah, I'm like I said, I never said that they were
Okay, then
legal people.
what's your talking point? I mean, you're already conceding to the fact that they're illegal immigrants all in these 4 or 5-star hotels.
Well,
If
see,
you
yeah,
want to help people, then why do you if you care about helping people so much, then why do you think illegal immigrants deserve 4 or 5 star hotels when American citizens can't even afford a 4 or 5 star hotel for 30 days, much less 2 months straight? A refugee must go to the nearest country so Canada, Mexico can come to us, except an exception we made for Cuba. That's a great comment.
I'm just saying, it's not that they just came over here and then they just got free shit. They actually had to have a certain process to go through to actually get those benefits. And I'm
I
not saying
mean,
that they're
yeah,
legal.
they went up to the government and said, "Hey, I'm here illegally. Can we get free shit?" And they gave it to them. Yeah, that's a process. Everything's a process. What's your point?
They just didn't jump over here and they're just like, oh, here's free shit.
They did jump over here. They jumped over the border illegally. Then they got a bus to New York, or under Biden, a lot of these people were getting shipped out to welfare states. So they got a free bus ride to New York. Then they went to the immigration place and they got free shit. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. You got a question? If you guys got any questions or comments, drop super chats. But yeah, that's basically that. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Right on, brother. I'm not saying they got it illegally. Never once did I say they got their benefits illegally. Obviously, the government is the one giving them the free housing and these 4 and 5 star hotels. Never once did I say they got it illegally. What I said is that the federal laws have been changed, so they're not going to be getting so much shit like that anymore. And second off, it's second off, yeah, my point was that they're fucking taking money from our our welfare system. Free ride is over thanks to Trump. The only free thing you can get out here now is birth control. Yeah, probably. They got it from the Democrats, yet our veterans are homeless. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Like, that's why I don't want to help these people, because we got homeless veterans in New York City. Have you ever been to New York City? Because I've been there about 20 times and it's fucking horrendous that we got hundreds of homeless veterans. Meanwhile, these illegal immigrants, they just come into our country and they get 4 or 5 star hotels for free from the government. But the government, the Democrat led government in New York, doesn't give a fuck about the homeless veterans. They don't care about the veterans. They just care about the illegal immigrants and helping them. If you really want to help someone that deserves it, help the people that served our country.
I agree with that.
And look, we literally have a homeless veteran in here. God bless you, sir. It's literally insane to look at what happened in New York with those hotels. They were getting free food. They were getting food stamps. I think sometimes they were getting cash. They were getting all kinds of shit. Meanwhile, homeless veterans are shit out of luck. It's fucked up.
Well, then you have to look at the VA, bro.
What
And
about the VA?
it's dog shit.
I agree with you. The VA is dog shit. Do you think hiring more people and wasting more money on bullshit's gonna help it?
No, I never said that.
How you doing, Graham? Sorry, had a few busy days. I'm doing good, brother. How are you? Just why dude not showing his face? I mean, he showed his face a couple times, but I guess he doesn't want to show it. That's up to him. Agree. God bless our veterans. So once again, why should we help people that aren't citizens that want to violate federal law? I mean, be honest. You're agreeing with everything I'm saying. You're conceding to all the points I'm making. Do you have some kind of personal connection or something? Is someone in your family an illegal immigrant? Are you an illegal immigrant? Like, why are
No.
you connecting
Oh,
so well with these people?
because I just like helping people. And yes,
I
I agree
mean,
that we can
yeah, if
help
you
the.
like helping people, then we should start with our own citizens, not
You're
criminals
right.
that want to violate the law.
Yeah, but you can do two things at once. You can also.
No, we can't because we can't even take care of our own. So how are we going to help other people? If you can't even afford basic necessities for yourself, how are you going to go out there and help someone? You're just going to say, "Oh, well, you can do two things at once. You can't afford your rent and your food, but you can also give money to the homeless, etc., etc." That's impossible. How many illegal immigrants are living with you? If you want to
None.
help people so bad, then go let some illegal immigrants live with you. And if not, you're a hypocrite. You say
Nope.
you want the government to help them. Why don't you help them?
Now, what if I had the money?
Oh, I thought you said that you can do both things at once. The government doesn't have the money, but you said they can do both things at once. They can help the homeless and help the illegal immigrants. Since the government doesn't have the money and you don't have the money, you both can do it. You can do two things at once, just like you said.
Well, I think I'm different than the federal government, but okay.
I mean, you're right. The federal government is probably in more debt than you are. The federal government probably has less money to spend on the homeless than you, but yeah.
I don't know about that.
How many homeless vets have you helped? Every time I see someone homeless, veteran or not, I give them food if they ask for it. I give them, I'm not really a person of giving out money, but I've never turned down food for a homeless person ever in my life. And a lot of homeless people have asked me to give them food or help them with food or water or something like that. I help them every single time I see them or I get the chance to.
Yeah, to say that the government doesn't have the money is absolutely ridiculous.
$37 trillion deficit.
And your point is?
We're at $37 trillion deficit. I mean, unless you want to just keep printing money and you want, our
Hmm.
country to
Who
go to
wants to do
shit.
that? Who wants to do that?
Okay, you don't want us to print money, so then
No, I'm
I don't
saying
know what to tell
who's the
you.
person that wants to continue printing money?
Huh?
Who wants to continue to print money?
The Federal Reserve, the banking system?
Exactly.
What the hell are you talking about, Texas? You're done with super chats. You never dropped me one super chat in the first place ever. Don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
I just think that you don't think that immigrants contribute.
I mean, if you want to go down this rabbit hole, I'm glad to go down with it. I've been down this rabbit hole about 20 times this month alone. So yeah, if you want to go down this rabbit hole, we can go down this rabbit hole. How do you think? Well, let's not use the word immigrants because a lot of immigrants do contribute. Let's say illegal immigrants, illegal criminal alien immigrants, or we can just call them illegal alien immigrants.
Well, if you're saying criminal, then they don't contribute.
I mean, they're all criminal by definition if they entered the country illegally. We've been over this.
I mean, yeah, technically yes, but when I mean criminal, I mean something that is a violent or bad crime.
When I mean criminal, I mean the actual definition of criminal. You're breaking a law. That's what I mean when I say criminal. Or we can just call them illegal immigrants. So please tell me how you think illegal immigrants contribute so much to society. J Money, you're trolling the hell out of me. If you want to debate, join the Discord, guys. Join the Discord. But go ahead, tell me how you think illegal immigrants contribute, and I'll explain to you how it's bullshit.
Well, in the construction sector and the agriculture sector mainly.
Yeah, American citizens contribute to that, and all they're doing is taking away American jobs. I know plenty of Americans that would love to work in agriculture or construction, and only the minority of people that work in the agriculture industry are illegal immigrants. The minority, not the majority, the minority. And either way, Donald Trump said that he wants to help the illegal immigrants in the agriculture industry specifically. So,
I don't
is
know
there
the
any
last
other
time
ways that
you.
you want to say that these people are contributing to society? Because working and taking American jobs is not really necessarily contributing much to anything.
I don't know about you, but the most of the times when I drive by fields isn't. only Hispanics out there. So
So what are you trying to say, that all Hispanics are illegal immigrants? I just said the majority of them are
no,
legal visa holders.
no, I'm just saying that the jobs that you say that they're quote unquote trying to take aren't the ones that Americans are willing to work.
Okay, there aren't Hispanic Americans out there that would do. There aren't Hispanic Americans out there. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
First off, you said you drove by a field and there were Hispanics, kind of implying that you thought they were all illegal immigrants. Second off, you just said that Hispanics want to do this job. Americans don't want to do this job. There's Hispanic Americans that legally came here, right?
Yeah.
And what about the illegal immigrants that are being taken advantage of? Do you really think that illegals should be allowed to stay in the country and only get paid $4 an hour? Like, your whole point is slave labor. That's another reason why Trump wants to help these people become legal citizens. He wants to help specifically the people in the agriculture industry. Thank you, Itorka, for that super chat. But he specifically wants to help people in the agriculture industry get their citizenships, especially if they've been here for 10 or 20 years. But do you think that it's helping these people, or do you think it's helping to make a good society paying these people $4 an hour, slave wages? Do you think that's helping society, or do you think it's hurting society? Because I think it's hurting society.
No, I think that that the process should be made easier, so where that they can have more power to then be able to get paid regularly like
That's
normal
exactly what
people.
Trump is trying to do. But continue. How else do you think, other than taking agriculture jobs, from Americans, how else do you think that illegal immigrants contribute? I'm waiting for you to say a specific thing because I think you might say it. So let's see what you say.
Uh, I would say that that immigrants are more likely to start businesses than U.S. citizens.
Yeah, legal immigrants. Once again, I'm not. You're just saying a points that I agree with pretty much. Anything else you want to say? Anything specifically?
Not specifically about that, no.
Not paying taxes.
They do
Bingo.
pay taxes.
A lot of them do not pay taxes. A lot of American citizens do not pay taxes. And the majority of the time that they do pay taxes are not them actually willfully giving their money over. It's just their employer taking a cut out of their paycheck to pay the taxes.
So when they go to the store, they don't pay taxes.
I mean, yeah, that's not income tax. We're talking about income tax.
That's still taxes though, so they pay taxes.
Okay, everyone pays taxes, but when people say they
Oh,
don't pay
there you go, buddy.
taxes, we're talking about federal income taxes. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about we're not talking about your 2% state tax for, shopping in the grocery store. That's
But
not
that's still
shit.
a tax that
It
they
doesn't
pay, so they
benefit the
pay
system.
taxes.
Huh?
That's still a tax that they pay, so they still pay taxes.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that they benefit the country by, paying taxes? You think that the illegal immigrants paying taxes when they have, two, three, four, maybe they just have one children. Let's just pretend the illegal immigrant has one child. He pays his taxes. Most of them don't pay taxes, federal income taxes, but let's pretend he pays taxes. Let's pretend for a second all of them pay taxes. Do you think he's actually contributing to the country, or you think he's taking more away in welfare and benefits programs? Once again, this is just an illegal immigrant with one kid. What is your opinion on it? What do you think? Is he contributing because he pays income taxes? Let's even pretend, we'll even be a nice guy. We'll say that he makes the average income in America around $45,000 a year. He has one child in public school, and he's paying his taxes. He's an illegal immigrant. He broke the federal laws. Do you think he is contributing to the country, or do you think he's taking more in welfare and government subsidies and programs? What do you think?
Well, you would have to give a specific situation as far as what welfare programs that they're on, and what specifically as far as like is he just a regular laborer? Does he own a business? Whatever. You'd have to get more specific.
I'm just talking about tax. I'm just talking about tax benefits versus, tax deficit to our system. It's very simple. The situation I described, even if he was on no welfare programs if you just had one child in the public education system, it costs $10,000 a year in the public education system of our taxpayer money to put one child through school. The average person making the average income of $45,000 a year does not even pay $10,000 into the tax system. And that's not even including any potential welfare programs and systems that he's using. So the answer is no, he's not a net benefit to our tax system. Hey, motherfucker, I do send super chats. God bless Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. Do you think Charlie Kirk's assassin is getting beaten up? Yeah, he's getting beaten up and abused in jail right now. Anyway, to continue with this conversation, yeah. So the majority of, to be honest with you, I'm not trying to take away from any American citizens out there. If you're an American citizen and you're just making the average salary and you're making below the average salary, it's completely fine with me. Okay, I'm not trying to shit on people. I'm not a millionaire. I'm nothing like that kind of bullshit. Well, not bullshit. It's awesome to be a millionaire, but I'm nothing like that whatsoever. I'm just an average guy. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm just looking at this from a statistic perspective. If you have one child going to school, you're making the average salary of $50,000 a year. You're not on any welfare programs whatsoever. You are a net loss to the tax system.
Well, it
It's
says
just
here that in the and I mean I don't know if I could find more updated, but it says in 2022 the average income tax paid was $822.
okay. There you go. There's your answer.
I mean
But
that's
you
by
also
different. That's by like a difference of like less than $200.
wait. What's your point? And they're paying
Because you
eight
said
hundred dollars in taxes.
yeah, and you said it was like cost like what 10,000 per kid or whatever like that. So that's like a yeah.
It does not cost $800 for a kid to go to public school. You're kidding me,
No,
right?
you said it was 10,000.
Yeah. Where did you get 800 from? What's the source?
Oh, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. That yeah, I was dumb right there. I thought it said 8,000. It's 820. It was from the Tax Foundation of the Tax Foundation. That was me being dumb. Yeah,
It was
I'll admit that.
8,000 or 800.
Yeah, I thought it was 8,000, but it was actually 800.
Well, you said 800. Can you show us? Because there's no way it's $800.
Oh yeah, or that's for the
People
bottom 50%.
people in Alabama, Mississippi, and all over the southern states, not Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, drain my tax dollars more than average undocumented immigrants.
This
I'm
is for the
literally
bottom
agreeing with you,
50%.
my guy. Wait, is this the percentage of tax they pay, or is this the cost
No,
for putting a
this is
child through school?
the average income taxes paid, and I thought it said 8,000, but no, it says
For what, a
820.
$26,000 salary, or what are we looking at here?
I'll zoom it out a little bit more. This
That
is
might be on a federal level if you're employed.
yeah, that's
Well, the average person doesn't make $26,000 a year, and that's what I'm reading right now. The average salary is about $50,000 a year.
so then they would even pay more.
And yeah, we have state taxes and federal taxes. But you're making my point. I'm saying you don't even pay $10,000 a year in taxes. Then I'm not against any average Americans. I love the American workers. I think they do a lot of good for society more than bad. But I'm just talking about statistically. The average taxpayer with the average salary, if they have one kid in public school, that's costing the taxpayers $10,000 a year. They're not paying $10,000 a year in taxes with the $50,000 salary. And listen, I'm all about the working class American. I'm just talking about from a net loss perspective.
I mean, if that's true, then you're yeah, I agree with that point.
So then why should we be letting illegal immigrants, even if they were making, most of them aren't even making the average salary. But if they were making the average salary, they would still be a net loss to our system. That's why we should be extremely picky on who we bring into the country. If you're an
Which I
average
said I agree with
American,
that.
okay, you're conceding to the points then. You're basically saying we should be picky on who we let into the country. But then
Yeah,
another
I
minute
said that from
later,
the
you're
beginning.
saying if you jump over the border, you're not a criminal and you shouldn't be deported. So you have to pick a side here. I
No, I
understand
said
having a
you shouldn't
bleeding
be
heart.
deported. No, I said you shouldn't be deported just because you jump over the border. If you should be deported if you committed a bad crime or a violent crime.
No, you did make a crime. It doesn't matter what your opinion on bad is. Everyone has their own opinions on bad. You should be deported if you break the law. Period. And breaking the law is jumping over the border. And you just agreed that they're a net loss for society. for the tax system. You just agreed that we should be more picky on who we let in the country because they're a deficit for the taxpayers. How can we sit here and say, oh, we should let them live in a welfare country and just take all these benefits? We got to help people when we have homeless veterans. And you just said you don't have money to house illegal immigrants. Well, neither does our country. This money needs to go to U.S. citizens, to veterans. Unless you want to put veterans last and illegal immigrants first, we
No,
shouldn't do this.
no, I think they should be helped as well. The veterans should be helped also.
Well, we can't help both of them. We've already been over this situation before. Thank you, by the way, Texas, for that super chat. I do remember that. I apologize for saying you don't drop super chats. My apology. I mean, you're conceding to all my talking points, but you're still not getting it into your head about like deporting illegal immigrants. What is so wrong about deporting illegal immigrants? If you jump over any other country's border illegally, they will deport you. If you overstay your visa in Mexico, they will deport you. If you enter Mexico illegally and they find out and law enforcement asks you about it, you will be deported. I mean, what is so controversial over deporting people when every other country pretty much is deporting people?
My whole point is that the way to get citizenship should be better. That's
Okay,
my whole
I
point.
agree with you there. But at the same time, I'm not forgiving citizenship to everyone. How can I earn
Exactly.
mod
That's why
on
you go
here?
through the vetting process. I'm
Okay,
not. I'm
yeah,
not.
but a
I'm not
vetting
advocating
process,
that we should. I'm not
a
advocating that we
background
should give
check is
everybody
not enough to
citizen.
just let someone in the greatest country in the world.
You said what?
I said just letting someone come in because they have a clean background is not, a valid way into letting someone into the best country into the world. How can I earn a mod here? If you drop a $5 super chat, I'll make you a mod. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just stay in the comments for a couple live streams and show your support and then I'll mod you.
I just don't think that they're as a detrimental as you like people put them out to be. Now the criminals, like the actual criminals, not the ones that just cross over the border. Yeah, those people are detrimental to society because they do bad
I mean,
things.
I just told you how. First off, I told you how they're sucking up all our welfare money. We talked about that point. You conceded to that point. You admitted to it. Then I talked about how if they are paying taxes, they're still a detriment to the society because they're a deficit for the taxpayers. You conceded to that point. Third point is I said a lot of them will be coming over here with no background checks. They could be criminals, they could be rapists. If they're jumping over that border, we have no idea who's coming into the country. There's no way we should not be deporting these people. We should absolutely be deporting these people. We have no idea what their criminal background in other countries are.
But we should
Absolutely
be
none
deported.
whatsoever.
But we should be deporting them by not just taking them off the street. We should actually be like, hey, this guy has a criminal background. Then let's deport him.
How are we
Not
going to
just
know if they have a criminal background? We don't have access to all the prison records in some of these third world countries. How are we going to know?
isn't. I'm pretty sure that stuff is documented.
I mean, yeah, it might be documented in their country, but it's kind of hard to figure out for us.
I think you would be able to figure it out.
I
I
mean,
believe that
obviously they haven't
if
been
they really
figuring it
wanted
out.
to,
They
they would
have
be
to
able to
track
figure it
these
out.
people down. They should be deported before they stay here for a bunch of years. My greatest concern for undocumented immigrants is the tangible examples of areas being overwhelmed by influxes of people. I drift away from leftist on that shit. Exactly, the tangible evidence. Massachusetts gave $1.4 billion last year to illegal immigrants for housing. And you want to talk about, oh, they aren't on welfare. They aren't taking any of our tax benefits. That is bullshit. $1.4 billion of Massachusetts taxpayer money. You know how big of a percentage of the budget that is? That's fucked up. That could have been used to get some of the homeless off the street.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that was nuts. They can't give us a raise. What do you want? A raise of what, Chris? You're not a school teacher. What kind of raise do you want? Absolute lies. Lies about what? Lies about what? Sorry, guys. I'm gonna turn off my camera for a second. I'm looking for my damn phone charger. Oh, here it is. Okay, I thought I left my phone charger somewhere else. All right, I'm back, guys. So, what other talking points do you want to talk about? I mean, I think we touched on everything about illegal immigration, but I'm up for any other talking points about any other things you might want to debate about.
I just really want to get to the like root of like why you think that mass deportation is a good idea. I know
I
we've
mean,
talked
I
about
just told
all
you
that other
every
stuff.
single
I
talking
mean,
point,
I
and you
get that, but like,
conceded to every single one. The only talking point that you had was saying that we should help people, and I said, yeah, we should help our own people first, and you agreed there. Like, I'm trying to find the mass root of why you want illegal immigrants in our country. Like, is your girlfriend an illegal immigrant? Are you an
mm,
illegal immigrant? Is any of your family members an illegal immigrant? Like, you conceded to every single debating talking point I've made so far. Like, I'm still mind blown how you can even still say that you want illegal immigrants into the country. What is still holding you back from conceding everything altogether and saying, you know what, you're right, we should deport, illegal immigrants. And another reason, the thing that I don't like is, saying, oh, we should deport them after they committed a heinous crime. My guy, we should deport them way before they even get the chance to commit a heinous crime. They already broke a law once. What's going to stop them from committing more crimes? If they don't care about the federal law of immigration, what makes you think that these people are going to care about any other federal law whatsoever?
I just think you're holding that specific thing as like equal to other stuff, like equal to other laws, like being broken. I think that's where you're wrong. That like you can't
I
equate
mean,
that.
it's not a speeding ticket is way less bad. Is not as A speeding ticket is not as bad as a federal misdemeanor, a federal felony in some cases of jumping over the border. So no, it's not held equally. A lot of crimes are a lot less bad than jumping over the border and entering illegally.
Exactly. So you can't say that just you can't equate that. It makes
You're right. Jumping over the border is worse. Jumping
it
over the border is worse than a DUI in some cases. Depends what you
that's
got caught with,
wild.
but
That is fucking wild. So you
I mean,
think people
it's just factually correct. If you get pulled over and you're drinking a little bit, sometimes it's in Wisconsin, it's literally a fine. It's not a I'm talking about on a legal standpoint, first off. If you want to debate it morally, I think drinking and driving is horribly and morally wrong. But talking about in Wisconsin, if your first DUI is a civil infraction, it's a freaking speeding ticket, my guy. Meanwhile, your first jump over the border illegally is a federal misdemeanor. So yeah, legally jumping over the border is worse in some states than a DUI. And the legal status and the legal standpoint.
yeah, which is crazy. That makes no sense at
I
all.
take up tons of issues with people in the North acting like immigration is a Southern issue while also woke scolding the South about it. Yeah, brother, that's fucked up. And yeah, if you want to stop human trafficking and whatnot, that's another reason why we should deport illegal immigrants. Some of these people are here with children that aren't even theirs. Under President Joe Biden, estimates have said 300,000, 320,000 children have gone missing, but the Health and Human Secretary has said there was over 476,000 missing children from open borders under President Joe Biden. That's another reason we should deport people as soon as we find them. We don't even know if the kids that they're with are theirs. They can just be human trafficking them.
That thing that you're referencing that was voluntary. They weren't mandated to report.
What do you mean it was voluntary?
Like because with that there was like a whole thing where you they had to go back to I can't remember the specific point, but they had to go back to. I don't necessarily say it was like the court, or it was some where they had to go back and report, but it was a voluntary. It wasn't mandatory. So that's where that
Actually,
point.
no. What you're talking about is how the Democrats claim that these children didn't show up for their court date. They didn't show up for the court date. That's why they said they were missing. Yeah, they didn't show up for their court date because they're fucking missing, and we don't know where the fuck they
Nope,
are. They didn't show up
because
for
it
their
was
court date.
voluntary.
We don't know where they were. A court date is not voluntary, brother. If you
Yes,
don't show up for a
yes, it
court
is.
date, how
You
is a
don't have
court
to go
date?
to court. If you
Yes,
get a
you
speeding ticket, you
do.
don't have to go to court. You
Hey, Chris, we have a lawyer in chats right now. Chris, tell us in chats what happens if one of your clients don't show up for a criminal case. Tell chat right now, Chris. Tell us what happens if you don't show up to court for a fucking
But
criminal
that's
case.
different than saying that. That's different than saying that you have to show up.
You do have to show up, otherwise they put a bench warrant out for your ass. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I never said that they weren't going to put a warrant out for you. I'm just saying that you don't have to go.
Yeah, you do. You legally have to go, or they're gonna come and arrest you and come and find you. If your presence isn't pre-waivered, it isn't an option, and no one's presence for freaking immigration hearings about if they're gonna get deported or not is waivered. It is typically not an option to go to court. Boom.
He said typically not optional.
Yeah, like
And
you said, unless you're pre-waivered, which no immigration hearings are pre-waivered. If you get sent an immigration case, you have to show for court. And if these children weren't missing, then why did Trump find 24,000 missing of these children? Why did Trump find 12 of these children working on an MJ farm in California with drugs when they're only 11, 12, 13 years old? Why did we find them working with 290 illegal immigrants, and some of them were registered PDF files? I mean, obviously they were missing. We've been finding a shit ton of them. We found 24,000 of them so far. We found 24,000 missing children that were lost under Joe Biden's administration. It's disgusting. But once again, I'm still trying to get you to concede altogether, because you've conceded to every single point I've made. I mean, I'm still trying to dig to the root cause of it. What is the root cause? Why should we let illegal immigrants enter illegally and stay in our country?
I think you're thinking that I want to just let everybody in when that's not what I want.
I mean, when you say you don't want to enforce immigration law, you might as well be
No,
saying you want to let everyone in.
no, I never said that. I said that the process should be easier and you should have a good vetting process.
Okay, but you said you don't want to deport anybody.
No, I mean, unless they've committed a bad crime or violent crime.
So you don't want to deport everyone. So if we're not going to deport anybody, then what is the
No,
purpose of?
I just said that I would be for deporting violent offenders, or if they've
So
committed
you
something
want the
like.
illegal immigrants to commit violent crimes and then you'll deport them?
Well, that's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous? Peace out, Chris. Talk to you later, brother.
To say that that I want them to commit violent crimes to then deport them. No, I don't want them to
I
commit
mean,
crimes
that's
at
what you
all.
just said. You said you're not going to deport anyone unless they've committed violent crimes.
I mean, prior, not while they're in the country. That's absolutely
How are we
ridiculous.
going to know if they've committed any prior violent crimes if they don't come with a background check from their country? Do you think Guatemala is just telling freaking the FBI, yeah, this dude, they all committed crimes? Like, what do you
Well,
think the FBI
all
does,
that would get
honestly? What do you think they
all.
do? Hello, Guatemala, can we get a criminal report on all these people? Please?
No,
Please?
no, that's what would happen through the process of vetting them. All that would happen through
Yeah,
that.
that's why we should deport all the illegal immigrants, because they don't have a vetting process. Their background check hasn't been checked.
I just think you're lumping in all immigrants to a very small portion of them.
How so?
Because not a majority of them don't commit violent crimes.
I never said the majority of them commit violent crimes.
I know you didn't say it, but that's what you're saying, that they commit crimes. Yes,
Yeah, they
crossing the
do
border
commit
is a
crimes. The
crime,
first thing they did was commit a crime to get into the country.
but it's just a misdemeanor. It's not like they shot somebody.
It's a federal crime, and it's a felony if they did it more than once. I just don't understand. You're conceding to every single one of my talking points. You're basically agreeing with 90% of what I'm saying, but you don't want to deport the illegal immigrants that are coming in with kids that aren't even theirs, that possibly have criminal backgrounds, that possibly are murderers, rapists, etc. You don't want to check their backgrounds. You don't want to deport them.
No, I do want their backgrounds to be checked.
Okay, how are we going to check their backgrounds? Once again, we're looping back to this point. It's not you realize it's not possible to just call, "Hello, Guatemala. Can you tell us if this person has any criminal background?" Like, how do you expect that to happen? Or what if they're in like a country that's even worse than that? What if they're in a country that basically doesn't have any government, like Somalia? Do you think you're just going to call Somalia and say, "Hey, I know you guys don't have any police really, and you don't really have a government, but can you tell me if this guy has a criminal record?" Or how do you expect this to work?
I mean, there would probably more than likely be documentation if they committed a crime.
So how are we going to get access to that?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, so you don't have a
Let's
solution whatsoever. You just don't want them to be deported. You only want them to be deported if they have a criminal record in their country, but we have no way of checking if they do have a criminal record of their country. You want to know how this is all avoided? By coming in legally. When you come in legally to immigrate to any country, you have to get a legal cleared criminal record check from that country that you originate from. Doesn't matter if you come from Somalia or Guatemala. You go to your government, you give them your fingerprints, they run your criminal record, you get the criminal record, you get the certificate saying that you don't have a criminal record from your country. You go through the months and months of process of getting that record, and then you get it apostilled and notarized, and then you come back to America since they can't call your country and figure out if you have a criminal background report, at least not for 30 million illegal immigrants. And then you can process a visa, a work visa in 30 to 45 days. Problem solved. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I mean, I've lived in other countries. That's exactly how it works. You bring your own criminal record certificate. You get it apostilled, you get it notarized. They don't just call your country and say, "Hey, can you tell us if they got a criminal record?" Because that's not how shit normally works. And definitely not from millions of illegal immigrants, or legal or not. That's not how it works. I mean, do you got any final points to talk about? Is there anything else you want to discuss or talk about?
No, I mean not specifically. No.
Were you satisfied with this live stream? I've been seeing your comments, and I haven't been dodging you or ignoring you. I just didn't know which Discord account was yours, or I might have just forgotten.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
If you guys have any final questions, comments, or if anyone in here wants to debate, I'm gonna check in my Discord and see if anyone else wants to have a conversation on live stream. But if anyone else does, join the Discord, guys. I appreciate you coming in, my guy. It was good having a conversation. Maybe we can debate on something else sometime.
Oh yeah.
You're a pretty reasonable guy overall. I thought you would have been a little bit more unreasonable, or maybe a bit more hostile, but I appreciate the friendliness and the kindness. And with everything going on, we should be friends in this country. It doesn't matter if you're a centralist, a leftist, or a Democrat, or right wing, or whatever.
Yeah,
As
I
long
think
as
you
you're not
expected me
calling
to
for
be like.
violence.
I think
Hmm?
you expected me to be like some super leftist, like libtard or something.
I mean, you were definitely a bit left on a lot of issues, but you're also, a a little bit right wing on issues. So I'll give you a fair I'll give you a fair political spectrum. I think you are one of the people that are actually right when you say, like, you're actually, correct. I'm not going to use the right not to confuse you, but you are actually a centralist. That's my point. I'm saying here you are rather central, but you are very left on some things, a lot of things, but you're pretty close to the middle.
Yeah.
Second Amendment needs to be upheld. Gun laws only hurt legal firearm owners. I agree, but that's a whole nother discussion. I mean, we already talked about that, but
But yeah, I just think our process to to actually become a legal citizen should be redone because it takes way too
no,
long.
I 100% agree. But I don't think it should be easy as saying, "Oh, I have a clear background, yada yada." I think we should do what every other country does. I think we should do what the majority of Europe does and the rest of the world does. If you want to come into the country, then you have to come for a specific visa, a specific reason, work visa, student visa, business, whatever it is. And you should have enough. You should have sufficient funds to support yourself. You should have to show bank statements. You should have to show records. When I lived in other countries, that's exactly what I had to do. They didn't just, let me come in and say you can live on our welfare. They made you show significant evidence that you can support yourself.
Now, I will, yeah, like you're right. I did concede that as far as like that whole like New York and specific states that they gave that, but like saying that some like person that comes over and then they're like they try to apply for it, they can't because they can't like get it because they don't have proper documentation to apply for it. But like I
I'm not
said, you're right.
saying they get all welfare programs, but there are workarounds, and they do, get welfare in New York for free living, free hotels, free food. If I don't know if it's food stamps or cash, but they also get that as well. I mean, you've
Uh,
already conceded to the fact that they're using welfare programs, even if you want to say they can't qualify for everything or they can't qualify for this or that. I mean, there's loop arounds. There's a million different things that they can do, and we've already made the main point of them using welfare programs, like in New York City, where they were in 3 or 4 star hotels and getting free food and money for food and whatnot.
yeah, but it's a little bit different when you're saying like they are like leeching off the programs when that's given to
I
them.
mean, yeah, it's given, but it doesn't mean it's right. This was under Democrat leadership. Just because it's legal doesn't mean, just because laws were changed so illegal immigrants can have welfare doesn't mean it's morally right. Laws are changed all the time.
Yeah, yeah, you're right on that.
And now they're getting less welfare than ever. Thank God. I don't think they should be having it. Any final questions, comments from anyone? Let me know.
Oh yeah, I guess uh, I'll say this. I don't agree with the whole like killing people like Charlie Kirk got killed. I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous and disgusting.
Well, I appreciate your comments on that. I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of the comments on Discord and on my YouTube and whatnot. It is freaking disgusting what people are doing, justifying another man's murder. I would never justify the murder or the death of someone. If Biden died, I would not be celebrating it. I would not be saying this or that. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm always gonna give my farewell wishes and whatnot. I'm never gonna, celebrate it. That is, demon rat activity.
I'm glad I remember this one thing. You had it was one live that you had said that I know this is completely randomly off topic, but it's you had said George Floyd died from fentanyl. That's not true.
Well, would you like to pull up an autopsy appointment? We can look at this because according to the autopsy, he had 4 times the lethal percentage of fentanyl in his system,
Yeah, but that
and
doesn't mean that he
also
died from the fentanyl. It was still the strangulation and shit like that. Like you could be on
he
every
wasn't
single
even on
drug,
his
but if you
neck. If you want to pull that up, or if you want to look up George Floyd simulation on YouTube or Twitter, you can. But people have literally reenacted this, where there's a guy standing on their back with pressing down on their head, and the person didn't die or get strangulated and whatnot. Is that what triggered you? Is that what made you want to debate me? Is it because of that comment?
No, not at all, not at all.
The first autopsy by the city ruled that it was an overdose. But you're going to be able to find data that disagrees with that and says he was killed by the police, or not data, but not actual data, but articles and whatnot that are going to tell you, oh, he died from, strangulation or whatever. But either way, I wasn't trying to justify or make fun of George Floyd in any way whatsoever. I was just giving my opinions on the topic. Oh, hey, Kathy, where have you been? It's been it's been like a week or so. I haven't seen of any of your deranged, absolute lunatic liberal California comments in a while. I've missed them.
It says it was, what is it?
I mean, can you at least be a little bit non-biased and tell me if you can find any articles saying that he did indeed have an autopsy report of him overdosing on fentanyl? And then can we also look at another topic, or not another topic, another article saying that he did die from strangulation? Can we compare the two? Can we
It was,
find one article that says he died from fentanyl and one article that says he didn't die from fentanyl? Because I know there's definitely, both sides out there on the internet.
oh, I'm looking at the National Institute of Health. It says,
Is the national, I might sound dumb here, but is that an actual government
yeah,
entity, or is that
yeah,
like a private company?
it's .gov, yeah, NIH.gov, yeah. It was carotid sinus, which is response to neck pressure causing neurogenic reflexes.
What the heck is neurogenic reflexes? But can we find at least one article to be a little bit unbiased? Because I know there's articles that exist out there saying he did die from fentanyl.
Well, that's why I went to the National Institute of Health. So I feel like that's maybe non-biased. I would think it would be.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm not really familiar with them. I don't know if that's the U.S. government or who exactly is that. Maybe I sound dumb. I don't know. And let's pretend for a second he did die from the cop. He should have just stayed in that car. He didn't have to run out of the police car and push his way out and escape from it. He could have
Yeah, I
just
mean,
stayed in the back of that police car. So either way you look at it, his death was his own doing.
yeah, like I'm all for people like, or I'm not for people that like that go against like law officers and shit like that. Like I feel like if you just act cordial, then you'll be okay. But yeah, most of the things like NPR, I don't know if you would agree with that, or say that's biased or not. And saying that he
Probably.
died
But
of
can we
lack of.
find one article that says that he passed away from fentanyl? Because the facts are, like him or not, he did have 4 times the legal overdosage amount of fentanyl in his system.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean that was his cause of death. Like you can be high and drunk on every drug, but if somebody strangles you to death, you died of
But he
strangulation.
was not strangled. He was
Well, you know
what
what
they
I mean.
say
You know.
was that he put his knee on his neck. But from the
Yeah, yeah.
videos I saw, I didn't even see his knee pressing his neck.
But then one thing that I do have a problem with the left saying, like they get all outraged about George Floyd, but then I can't remember his name. I think his name is Tommy Townsend. I think that's the guy's name. That he was the white guy that also died in similar fashion to him, but they said nothing about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. George Floyd died of fent. Sorry, guys.
No, he didn't, bro.
Well, you're not even willing to show articles on the other side. You don't want to
Well,
read them. I've
okay.
asked you multiple times to show us at least one article of George Floyd saying that he died of fentanyl. You won't even acknowledge my comment, much less acknowledge the fact that there are articles talking about this. I mean, like I said, even if it was strangulation, it was his own doing. He should have cooperated with the police officer. He didn't need to run out of the back of that car.
I mean, see, I know you're. I know this is an awful place to say, but I'm saying CNN said heart disease also contributed to it, which is mixed with fentanyl is not very good.
So even CNN said that he died partially from heart disease. Okay, well that's interesting. And you know what causes heart disease? Hard drug use, right?
Well, a multitude of things, but yeah, that can contribute to it.
And can we agree that George Floyd was not, a overall very good person? I mean, he might have had a family. Everyone loves their family. It doesn't matter if you're El Chapo, a mass murderer, yada yada yada. Everyone loves their family. That's not a reason to justify any criminality. Can we agree that he's not a really good person, specifically because he pointed a gun at a pregnant woman? Like, come on, guys. You're
Yeah,
really
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
celebrate a man that did that?
No, I think it was more the fact of like how his death was by police brutality.
You'd resist too if someone was on your neck. That is the most retarded statement I've ever heard. If I was being arrested, no one would be on my neck because I'm not gonna fucking resist. He was resisting arrest. He was being put in the back of a police car and he forced his way out. That's how he ended up on the ground with the police on his neck. I mean, can we at least agree on that? Me and you agree on that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying like earlier. Like, if as long as you act cordial with officers, then I mean you're not gonna get. I mean, there are some cases where they do overstep and they go fucking absolutely insane, but I mean, in most cases, if you act cordial, then you'll be all right.
Neck or Fent? Question mark. Well, I think it was Fent. He thinks it was neck, and CNN is saying something about heart disease. It's a
Yeah,
common practice for police to do that. That is indeed the truth. Actually, that was actually standard. That was a standard hold from police. I don't know if you knew that, but we can also research that as well. That was a standard police hold.
like that knee on your neck is a standard police thing.
I mean, look it up. I'm telling you, it's just. I didn't listen. From what I saw, I did not see. I did not see a cop with his knee on his neck. I saw it near his neck, near the back of his upper, torso, but I didn't see him, you know, putting all of his power on his neck. Maybe if people would quit resisting or breaking laws, they wouldn't even have confrontation with a cop.
That's accurate.
Guys, smash that like button. Let's get to 75 likes. And if you guys have any comments, questions, drop some super chats.
I mean, that's pretty. That's pretty clear on his neck.
That doesn't even look like George Floyd. Is that actually him?
Yeah, that's him.
Hmm. If he complied, they could have called an ambulance.
I've been trying to remember the other thing that it was on. I think it was actually on the same live that you said that it was something about California. I can't remember specifically.
So California has the highest poverty rate in the country.
No, it was something about that they took away funds for something. Oh, it was the I think it was the fire, like they were fighting fires or something like that. And you said that they took like 100 million or something like that away from the firefighters or something like that.
Not the firefighters. Gavin Newsom had a Fire Aid concert, and I mean, back then I was saying the money didn't get distributed, but now the money has been distributed to nonprofits that only support Black and Brown communities. So basically, the funds got distributed to anti-white nonprofit organizations that openly admit that they're not giving a dollar of that money to any white people.
But
It
you had
doesn't even
said that they
matter
had,
if you're white. If you're not Black or brown, even if you are Hispanic and you have light skin tone, they're probably not going to give you any of that money. But back then, I was saying that Gavin Newsom stole the money. I mean, which he did. He gave a portion of that $100 million to his own nonprofit and never told us how he distributed it, which just tells you he stole it, basically.
And if I remember correctly, I think you said that they took it away, or they took it away from that fund though. That it was for like
Yeah, he took
them fund.
millions of dollars from the nonprofit organization that was raised, and gave it to his own nonprofit organization, and then refused to tell us how he you know distributed the funds.
Mm-hmm.
And then he deleted it off his website. And then he had some major media companies write stories about it, saying, "Oh no, that's a lie. That never happened," et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I forget the news company, but I think it was maybe CNN or like some fact checking bullshit website that he gave a couple bucks to make articles about it, making them look good. But I mean, we all saw what happened. We all remembered when Gavin Newsom didn't give a single dollar of that fire aid money to anybody for months. And then when he finally did give some of that money, he gave it to racist nonprofit organizations that refused to help anyone that wasn't a part of the black and brown community. I mean, that's fucked up. Those kinds of nonprofits should not be getting a fucking dollar. Like, I think racism happens around all over the board. Smash that like button, guys. I don't want to stay at 69 likes. That's a bit weird.
No, I can't like it.
What do you want me to talk about specifically, Jennifer? I've talked about Charlie Kirk every single live stream. We've already mentioned him a bit. But if you have anything you want us to talk about, discuss, you can drop some super chats. If not, I think I'm going to hop off probably in a couple minutes here. Already hit the like. Kathy, it's hard to take you seriously when you type in all caps in every single comment you leave. I can just imagine you screaming at full blast at the phone. I mean, you said I was hurting your mental health. I mean, I'm not hurting anyone's mental health unless you're sitting here watching my live streams literally screaming at the camera. And I'm not here to say the cop was right. Do I think the cop should go to jail for life? No, I don't think so. Well, he didn't get life. He got like 25 years in prison. Do I think he should get 25 years in prison? No, maybe he can get a couple years at maximum, or he can just lose his job if they can actually show significant evidence that it is a fentanyl overdose or it was, a heart issue. Or if they can even find a little bit of evidence that it was, I think he should be acquitted.
I
So he
guess.
was wrong. I mean, yeah, I think he was a bit wrong in some ways or another. But do I think it was extremely immorally wrong? Not really. I think he was most likely just doing what he was taught to do if someone resists arrests.
So I guess the last thing I can ask: do you think tariffs are a good thing?
Oh, we're gonna have this whole debate. Well, I mean, obviously, my counter question would be, if tariffs are not a good thing and they hurt the people of that country, then why do other countries put 110% tariffs on us first, and we don't have any tariffs on them? If it's so bad for the country, why do so many countries have tariffs on us? If it's so bad for tariffs, or if it's so bad for countries to use tariffs, and if tariffs are
Well,
so bad, then why did President Joe Biden raise tariffs, and why did other presidents use tariffs as an economic tool?
well, I think in specific, like targeted tariffs, that may be beneficial, but not blanket.
I mean, these are targeted blanket tariffs. We didn't tariff 196 countries. We might have tariffed a lot of countries, but there are some countries we didn't tariff back. JD Vance or Ron DeSantis 2028? I prefer JD Vance. I live in Florida though. The governor is Ron DeSantis. I mean, I like Ron DeSantis as governor, but I would have to pick JD Vance personally. And these are targeted tariffs. Like the reason we did these tariffs was because other countries had higher tariffs on us first. I mean, maybe you can find certain examples of a small, probably less than a handful of countries that did not have tariffs on us first. And if that was the case, then there was other economic reasons why we targeted them from tariffs. India has like a 90% tariff on the U.S., so we had to start putting tariffs back on them. Vietnam, I believe, had a 110% tariff on us.
When was that like put in though?
Huh?
When was that put in though?
I have no clue. I don't know when all these countries enacted their tariffs against us, but way before Trump got into office. I'll just put it that way because that's factually correct. That's bullshit, William. He did not put tariffs on every single country in the world. He did put blanket tariffs though when he took off the high tariffs he had, blanket tariffs of 10%. I mean, I think that's a fucking deal when some of these countries have 110% tariffs on us. He just gave them blanket tariffs of 10% and said, okay, we're going to figure it out. And if we can't figure it out, we're going to come back and raise tariffs higher on you.
It said that I don't know if this is like the first ever, but it says that in 2018 is when India put tariffs on us.
I don't know if I doubt that's the first time ever, but they probably did
Yeah,
raise
yeah,
their tariffs back then.
yeah.
So just because we're allies with someone, if they're doing unfair trade practices or if they're raising tariffs on us, just because we're quote unquote allies, we shouldn't raise tariffs back on them. Is that what your point is? I'm talking to someone in the comments, but I'm also talking to you. If we're allied with someone and they're doing unfair trade practices, should we not tariff them back? Or if they're tariffing us at 200%, should we not put a tariff back on them? Or should we just let them, beg them to take tariffs off of us and not put one on? Obviously, that's not going to work, but
I mean, I don't necessarily think that it would just depend. It would just depend because if it was like a targeted certain thing to like protect our certain whatever that it is applied to, then I mean I feel like that we should reciprocate those. But if it's like a blanket, then no. Like a blanket tariff, then no.
blanket tariffs can be reciprocal tariffs at the same time. Like I said, there's only, I think, maybe 4 or 5 countries that didn't have tariffs on us and we put tariffs on them, and it was for other economic reasons. I would have to talk about the specific country if you could, if I mentioned one or you mentioned one.
Well,
Peace out, Lunchbox.
that actually was the first time I looked at. That's actually the first time that they imposed tariffs was in 2018.
What unfair trade practices? I mean, an unfair trade practice would be an easy example would be them tariffing us and tariffing our auto manufacturers for selling cars in their country. Meanwhile, they want us to have free trade and zero tariffs with them. And that's another a lie. I don't think Trump put, tariffs on any Penguin Island. And if he did put tariffs on a quote unquote Penguin Island, I mean, some of these countries try to get around tariffs by importing their goods to other countries and then shipping goods out from that country and acting like that was the country of origin. To act like that you know better than the president or better than someone in government is hilarious. especially when it comes to tariffs. If you're gonna act like the government would tariff a country, and there's no people there, and there's no reason for them to do that, is absolutely fucking hilarious. But anyway, I think I'm gonna hop off, guys. I appreciate you coming on. If there's anything else you want to debate sometime, just let me know. And who knows, maybe I'll have another debate if I see anyone else in the Discord. If not, I'll probably just call it a night. But I appreciate everyone out there.
All right, man. You have a good night. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, man. Anytime you want. I appreciate you. Peace out, guys.
Later, man.
Hit that like, subscribe button, turn on that notification bell.
Hey, don't charge me next time, though. That's kind of fucked up.
All right. For sure, man.
Later.
All right. Peace. Appreciate it, though. Peace out.
Yeah, man.